Hi folks, John Melody back here again as we continue our podcast. Sitting here with Coach Cata again. How are you doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
World Cup 2026, North America, Canada, USA, Mexico. A 48 team field. Huge. Games all over the place, different time zones. What do you expect?
I think, it's a brand new World Cup, something different the last years. And especially you mentioned the 48 teams. It's going to be something different, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to go, because it's good that there's a lot of opportunities for new nations to be in, but at the same time, the quality of the game could be reduced a bit. But definitely I think if there's a place to do that, it's North America for sure.
Do you think that players enjoy playing in the World Cup today as much as they maybe did 25, 30 years ago? I mean, obviously with the huge money that players are making in domestic leagues, obviously not getting paid or not getting paid anything like that to represent their countries. Is this a burden that some of them don't want, or do you think that those players really, really, really want to play in this?
I think it's always they have pride to represent their country, but at the same time, football has changed a lot. And I think nowadays they even more focus about their own clubs than going and representing your own nation. But it shouldn't be like that. You get a call once every 4 years, you should go to it. And I feel like nowadays there's not the same passion anymore to play and go represent your country.
Might be different for, obviously on this side of the world, with the States and Canada and Mexico. Obviously you want to do really, really well. You've seen Germany win it in Germany. You've seen France win it in France. And you've seen Argentina, I believe, won it in Argentina. Or they were definitely in South America when they won their first one. The fact geographically, it's interesting how countries from the hemisphere, that side of the world, tend to do better in the World Cup. Why do you think that is?
I think it starts from the bottom, from the grassroots. Developing, in Europe and in South America as well, football, soccer is everything that they know. Whether here in America you have different sports, you have American football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, etc. So I think having that passion and kind of the only dominant sport make it better. And after that is the implication of the people of their own country.
Yeah.
Since you're a kid, 6, 7, 8 years old, you have good coaches, good preparation for the coaches as well, and everyone is on the same path. And my question for you is, now that soccer is so big here in America, how do you think this can impact the other sports that they're going to be here?
It's interesting watching soccer develop, and I've been involved in it. It's 40 years ago since I got to the States. You know what I mean? And what I've seen in the mid 80s to now is day and night. At one point, maybe not the best athletes played soccer. You know what I mean? America's full of good athletes. That's never America's problem. Is athleticism. I think sometimes America's strength is America's weakness. The place is so big, it's hard to get the best players, playing with the best players all the time. That's kind of changing a little bit, because now some of their best players are playing in Europe, and they're just getting better kind of, I'm not saying better coaching, but they're tough games week in, week out, and it's difficult to not to get better, so to speak. So I'm interested to see, can they take on the burden of playing at home? Because I think a lot of times people would look at the US women's team and go, well, they've won World Cups, why can't our men's team do it? And we know it's the same game, but it's day and night because of funding and different things like that, and opportunity and all of these kind of things. So I'd really like to see them do well, because I think anything like that lifts a nation. And one of the things I'd always say about America is they don't always get a chance to shout for their nation. Basketball is only played in North America. Ice hockey is only played in North America. Baseball is only played in North America. You know what I mean? So they're shouting for their individual teams more so than shouting for their nation on a world stage. So I'm hoping they do extremely well, and I'm hoping that so many people kind of jump on the proverbial bandwagon and just see that shouting for your country is a real honor in a sport that's national. I know sometimes in the domestic sports and the North American sports, they want to call themselves world champions, but there's only maybe 2 or 3 countries competing in those. So this is a real world championship. So I hope they do really well, because I think it's only good for the game if they do.
Yeah, definitely will develop every single category of soccer that is in the United States.
Yeah.
And now I think there was an article that said soccer is now the third most sport played in America, overpassing baseball. And I think that just shows, having that and the World Cup coming here next year, is just bring more excitement to every single regard of soccer that there's here in the States.
For all information, folks, and to stay up to date, you can visit our website, eriecommodores.com. From me, John Melody, from Coach Cata, thanks for joining us. See you next time.